Hi class, and welcome to your first day of your Envisions math lessons. Today we'll be looking at Envisions math lesson 1-1. Before we begin, please make sure you take a moment to pause your video to get all the materials you're going to need. For today's lesson, you will need your Envisions Volume 1 workbook, page 5, paper, pencil. Counters are optional and they are virtually provided by clicking on the counter image presented below on your virtual classroom. Don't forget, if you do not have your materials, go ahead and press pause on the video now so that you can collect your materials. Today's learning goal for lesson 1-1 says, I can use repeated addition or multiplication to join groups together. This is a new subject area for you guys, and I know that with hard work and resilience, we will be victorious and able to do this. Let's start our lesson with a solve and share. Each lesson will begin with a solve and share. For your solve and share, you have 6 steps to complete. Read the solve and share problem. Think about what's happening in the problem and retell it in your mind. What are you trying to figure out? Step 3, you're going to click reply on the discussion box and record how you solved the problem. Please make sure it's very explicit and step by step. When you are finished, click Post Reply. After you post your reply, you'll be able to see responses from other students. Read some of the responses from other students and think about how your strategy is like the other strategies of our students, or think about how your strategy is different from the other students in our class. After you complete steps 1 through 5, press play to continue the video. At this time, you should pause the video to solve your solve and share question. Now we're going to look at some student work samples. Let's look at student 1. Student 1 solved the equation by drawing a picture. On the left side of the paper, I can see four columns with 5 rows. I can see 5 rows and 4 columns. This is going to give student 1 the equation 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20. And they said Miss Witt bought 20 jars of paint. On the right side, I see 3 columns and 6 rows, which gives us the equation 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. Student 1 tells us that Miss Karp bought 18 jars of paint. Student 1 then writes the equation 20 subtract 18 equals 2 and says Miss Witt bought 2 more jars of paint. Student 1 used the array model to solve their solve and share. The array model is a strategy that you learned in 2nd grade. You can definitely use this to solve our problems. Let's take a look at student 2's work sample. Student 2 wrote that they skip counted by 5s to find the number of jars of paint that Miss Witt bought. They demonstrated how they skip counted 5, 10, 15, 20. Then they wrote the equation 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20. Next, they skip counted by 6s to find the number of jars of paint Miss Karp bought. They demonstrated how they skip counted below, saying 6, 12, 18. Then wrote the equation 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. They then wrote a subtraction equation saying 20 subtract 18 equals 2. This student used skip counting as a strategy. This week, we're going to be using repeated addition or multiplication to solve our problems. But that does not mean that skip counting and arrays cannot be used. Take a moment to think, how are these two student work samples similar? Pause the video at this time and write down 2 ways that they are similar and 2 ways that they are different. Always remember, guys, there is never one right way to solve a math problem. Now let's continue on through lesson 1-1 and let's rock it out. You guys are awesome.